What's going on, guys? Angel Talmatis here with Quick Leads Local.
Troy
Hey,
Thompson,
Angel.
Pinnacle Insurance
We've
of
got the
Minnesota.
bobblehead. Love it.
Scott Borschke with Supreme Lending.
And we've got Scott Borschke with Supreme Lending on with us today. We've been on a little hiatus. Like I said, we got busy in the summer and we've been doing shows, Rockfest, Country Fest, We Fest. I know Troy's been on Alaska trips, but he's actually been working hard besides that little week.
Oh, yeah. And we all know Scott's working hard, too. And I want to just take a minute to introduce Scott Borschke a little bit. I've known Scott for about at least 5 years now, and we've really gotten to know each other more in the last 6 months or so. He's got a great story. I'm just excited to get to know you better and find out why you're awesome, Scott. But Scott has been with Supreme Lending for 10 years now?
Coming up on 12, actually.
12. That's unbelievable,
Wow.
especially in the mortgage industry and real estate. It seems like people change companies every year almost. And
Right.
yeah, let's talk a little bit about that and maybe talk about how you got into mortgages, Scott.
Sure. Yeah. So first of all, for how I got into mortgages, I get asked that question frequently. And it started back when I was about 18 years old. I started trying to do the college thing, and it just wasn't really feeling it. I wanted a little independence and, live on my own. And, so I was kind of working a couple of jobs and figuring out what was next. And I came across opportunity with an old buddy of mine to start with a subprime mortgage company, actually back in '07 when those things were kind of ending. They offered just a small salary with small commissions and just basically something that involved a lot of numbers and talking to people and helping people. And I've always been a pretty big numbers guy, so I thought, you know what, let's give this a shot. I like helping people. I like the math and the numbers behind it, and we'll see where this goes. So, I took my big boy job out to the Carlson Towers out in Plymouth, and basically after a couple months, subprime mortgages at that time really weren't doing so hot, so there wasn't really a demand for it at all. So that company,
Was that before the market crashed, or
that was end of '07 is actually when I started with that company. So I got 2 months of good experience there before they went under, along with pretty much every other subprime company. And then some of the regional and area managers of that company, they were the higher ups. They decided to latch on with Supreme Lending, and they did a lot of research and found them as a good company. And they asked just a few of us loan officers that they saw with potential to join them. So I was 20 years old, and now I was going to be going to 100% commission. Figured I'd jump in, see how that went. I figured I'd give it 6 months, keep some of my side jobs on the weekends. But after 2 months, I saw it was something that I could really thrive at, and I really enjoyed helping people and everything behind it. So I was able to quit the side job pretty quickly, and everything's been thriving from there.
Wow. And been with Supreme Lending ever since. And loyalty is very important to you, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep, correct.
Mind kind of talking to us a little bit about loyalty and Supreme?
Yeah, why you pick Supreme?
Sure. Yeah. As you guys have kind of talked about, people are switching companies a lot. It's not uncommon every year or two because there's always higher payouts and commissions and perks and just things that people are going to offer you. But, I've been through a whole lot with Supreme over almost 12 years now. On a personal level, they really, really care about you. I've been to corporate office down in Dallas annually for sales rallies. They invited me to speak in front of all the loan officers. Even at 24 years old, I give a big presentation, and they really care about you there. And my direct management here at my office as well. Just we all have personal issues in life that we in and out, helping them helping me, and it's just something that just money is not gonna just throwing more money at me is not gonna do anything for
Absolutely.
that. So the loyalty is really big. They've shown it to me, and I want to show it back to them.
Yeah, great company. And what was your presentation about, by the way?
Yeah, I mean, geez, that was 8 years ago now, but they had just a big panel of 5 of the top loan officers with different types of communication styles and business structure. They just wanted to know about how I was doing what I was doing back then, and succeeding at a young age in the early 20s. And
that is crazy.
Yeah, it was a lot of bright lights, and I was, kind of nervous back then at that age in front of that big room, but it was a good experience.
Oh, that's awesome, man. That's impressive for 24 to go in front of all those people.
Yeah.
No doubt. So Tell us a little bit about what makes you unique, Scott, and why realtors should try to work with you.
Sure. Well, all loan officers, many of them talk about communication and service, and talking's one thing, but doing it's another. At the moment, I don't have family and kids that take a lot of my time. I'd love to have that someday in the near future.
But you're an awesome uncle.
Yeah, got a 7-month-old nephew, and he's great. I love babysitting him, helping the sister out. But I'm available 8 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at nights. 9, 8, 10 a.m. on weekends, just at all times. So service communications, pretty important. Beyond that, one thing that makes us unique as a company, we have a good appraisal management company that we own and run, and our appraisal process is a little more streamlined. We were able to pick preferred appraisers to be on our panel. We can't choose the exact appraiser, but we have some big, strong ones I work with for 10 years, and it helps us avoid any issues there. I personally know and, have socialized with my underwriters, closers. There's a lot of good communication there. We're Facebook friends. It's kind of like a big family at Supreme. So having that extra level of knowledge of each other and the way we work, and really helps move things along. So that's a couple things that make us unique. I could go a lot longer here, but
No, that's
move
good.
on to the next question for now.
Hey, Angel, do you think Scott's mic is rubbing on something?
Yes, I got some.
Sounds like somebody's playing marbles.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sure.
That could be bad. But yeah, the time you're available, and that's great for realtors, but also for your clients. And I know that firsthand, like who we worked with, Linda. I mean, you're doing things, you're going above and beyond, and going out to their houses and meeting with them, and going for boat rides and different things like that. And you don't see that from all the other a lot of the other mortgage loan officers out there. And do you mind talking a little bit about that? How you go above and beyond for your clients?
Sure. I understand a home purchase or refinance it's going to be, probably the biggest transaction you make in your life. And it's a whole lot more than just money and numbers and a roof over your head. It's where you're going to be raising your family and your kids and, establishing and building relationships. And I really know it's a very personal thing beyond just, paperwork. So I like to kind of, talking through the process, a lot of anxieties about the home buying process. And it's something that I like to be there for them to vent to me, for them to ask questions. I'm not someone who doesn't like to be bothered. If there's something's on your mind, I want you to reach out to me. It may take my time away from trying to find other business in other ways, but just doing things the way I do it and being full service at all angles really seems to help with repeat business and clientele coming back. So that's really what I focus on, the service, not as much the volume of business.
No doubt. And the funny thing is, the more service you provide, the more business you probably naturally get through referrals and
right.
customers, right?
Right. Yep.
That is awesome. All right. Fun question.
I love it. So, yeah. What are your hobbies, Scott? What are you, besides outside of mortgages, outside of lending, what are you doing on your free time besides hopping on podcasts with us?
Sure. And readjusting the cameras when they're falling out. We had the webcam trying to go here, but now I'm on the Android because we had a little technical issues.
Looking good.
Yeah. So hobbies, I really love to be active. I played 3 sports in high school. That was a while back now, but really getting back in my groove there. I play a lot of basketball at Lifetime Fitness, outdoor volleyball and bar volleyball leagues. I love
going. Makes me hearken and think of Top Gun, the beach volleyball scene. Is that kind of how it is?
Yeah. Yeah. You know it. But yeah, I also, I love going to sporting events, but I do a lot of them. Plymouth isn't too far from, Twins games, Timberwolves games, Vikings games. Just like to do those when I can. Fantasy football leagues are great. I go to church at Eaglebrook. It's something I've started in the recent future, and I've been, going weekly. So Eaglebrook's a great church, just great mindset, great lifestyle. Gives me kind of a path on how I want to live. I like going to concerts. Music's great. Social events. I like being around people. It gives me energy. So those are, just getting out around people. Anything that's around good people that are gonna, keep me on the right track. What's up?
Oh, uplift you. Speaking of Eaglebrook, I mean, it's like a self-help seminar. Christianity, of course, but man, do you feel good after leaving that? Their services.
Exactly. Regardless of your beliefs and, whether you believe in God or not, There's so much they touch on just in
Mm.
daily life and experiences, the younger couples, single people, older couples. You just talk about issues that we all deal with, and it's good to kind of get some ammo and tools to deal with life as it comes. So I do.
Yeah, no
It's a big
doubt.
part of my life too.
And me being technical too, I can appreciate how good their streaming is, their video and
Mhm.
streaming and everything, so that they can stream it out to social. And even if you can't get to Eagle Brook, that you can still join them
Yeah.
online. I think that's a really amazing thing.
Yeah.
Amen.
So
Yes, sir.
the next question that we love to talk about. So how are you marketing yourself right now? What is what are you using to market yourself right now? Or how is Supreme Lending and you combined making Scott Borschke look good in the community?
Sure. Let's got to decline a call here. It's on the Android, but okay. So yeah, we do multiple different marketing things. We do get we get some of our own leads coming in through different lead management services. I also like to be active on Facebook. Talk about successes and different client situations that are special that may relate to how I can help other people. I also sometimes there's a lot of down payment assistance. There's some programs out there, and I'll go on Facebook and see people that I don't know yet that are just reaching out looking for options to other random ads. And I've had a lot of success just, reaching out to those people that are looking for help and don't know where to go and don't even know about me. And I've had a lot of good response there. So
Give us that example that I saw recently that you posted
sure.
About that gentleman and how you helped him out.
Yeah. Back in November, his name was Jake. And he just, again, on one of the random ads that we didn't even generate, I was looking for some down payment assistance. I reached out and he was open to talking. And we found out he kind of had some credit issues. So I worked with him with a good probably 8 to 10 phone calls with a collection company. A lot of people have collections. I know I've had them in the past, cable bills, old roommates maybe didn't pay or whatever, phone bills. But I was able to help him get it deleted actually, and it jumped his score about 50 points. So
That's huge.
yeah, that was great. And once we got that score up, it was locked in for 4 months. He had a long time to find a home without worrying about the score dropping. So just recently, it's been about a 6-month process or more, and we just closed just a couple weeks ago a home for him, and it was really cool. Not only just how we kind of connected, but when people are sitting there with credit scores in the 500s and they don't know what to do sometimes, that's where I come in, and it's not the business that a lot of loan officers want because it's extra work, it takes extra time, but that's my job and that's what I'm here for. So I'm okay working with you for months or whatever it takes with our simulator programs to get you where you need to be. That's just the right thing to do, I think, and I'm glad it worked out for Jake.
So he must love you, right?
Yeah, he was pretty happy.
Cool. And you mentioned a simulator program. Is that something that helps with credit? You mind talking about that a little bit?
Yeah, it's great. It's huge. We just got it in the last couple of years, but I'm kind of an expert of sorts on using it. Having the product's one thing, but knowing the ins and outs is another thing. It'll take a current credit report that you have, and we can simulate out to 1 month, 2 months, 4 months, 7 months out from now to see where the score is going to be. Yeah, and more often than not, a lot sooner than that, we can make things work. So you can say if you pay your balance down $170 or $300, what your score is going to get to. And not only that, but there's a wayfinder program where you give a goal score and it tells you like exactly what you need to do step by step, open secured cards, pay this balance down, wait this amount of time to get where you need to be. So, there's been times where I've had clients, we're careful with it, but making offers before the new score is actually updated because I have so much experience and confidence. I know in 2 weeks your score is going to be where it needs to be. So let's move now. Let's not wait. So if credit's an issue,
there's a strategy behind it, right?
Yeah, I know we can fix it if it takes time, but it's really feels good.
For those people out there listening, Scott, and they might not have the best credit, they don't know where to start. What if they want to try to fix it on their own? What would be like 2 or 3 things they could start doing?
Yeah, fixing on your own, and I'm going to kind of go a different route there. That's something that really you got to be careful of because it sounds great to try to do things. And people generally think when they're paying money or paying things off, it's going to improve their situation. And although that might be right in some cases, in other cases, if there's a collection that hasn't reported in months or years any information and you go and pay it today, that can actually hurt your score. So it can actually be bad sometimes to pay off some old debt. Right. So that's where I say, hey, it's good to get balances below 30%, below 10% with credit cards. Those are good benchmark numbers. And that's on your own, do that. But better than just guessing with percentages that, are generally accurate, if you come to me, we can look at an exact screenshot, of your current credit, and we can see exactly to the dollar. So you're
that's
using
awesome.
every dollar efficiently with the fastest timeline. So you're not paying the wrong thing off,
Oh man.
So it's
So what you're
really,
saying is go to an expert like yourself.
yeah, pretty much. Or you're wasting time and wasting money, and I feel so bad when people come to me and say they just pay off $8,000 of stuff, and I could have got them for
To
2,000
bump your
better
credit
results.
from like 580 to 700, that could mean tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands in interest, right?
Yeah, I mean, hundreds of thousands might be a little much unless you're, go to the $1 million home range or more. But
Sure.
yeah, I mean, many tens of thousands of interest, and payments. I mean, it could easily be $100 a month difference in your payment or more, and definitely
So
it makes a huge
what do you
difference.
charge for helping people with their credit?
Absolutely nothing. Maybe we should
Wow.
charge something, but again, I like to take my 12 years of knowledge and experience and our programs we have available and just use them to the best of my ability. It does cost money for our simulator services, but not for the client. It's something that we eat on our client's behalf, which
I
just
think that's
obviously
a
helps
great
increase their
niche that
business.
you could. I bet you there's a lot of realtors out there that may have mortgage loan officers that don't like to deal with people with the credit
Mm-hmm.
issues, and I think that'd be, a great niche to, let other realtors in the Minnesota area know that you're an expert at helping with credit. I mean, maybe it's just me, but I think that's awesome.
Yeah, thanks, Troy.
Yeah, no
It's
doubt.
it means the most to them too, and it gives me the biggest sense of accomplishment. Taking someone who couldn't get a house yesterday, and 3 months from now or 2 months from now, sometimes they're closing on a house, and it's just like a whirlwind of
Oh,
emotion. So
absolutely.
it feels good.
They just need a little nudge, a little expert advice, right? Because they don't know
Yes,
where to start.
exactly.
Right.
You can't know until you go out and research. You just doing things on your own blindly just isn't going to get you there. And I'm happy to be one of the few people that can guide in that direction. So it means a lot, and I like to do what I can.
That is good to know. Good to know, Scott. And we run across people with bad credit too in our insurance agency. So I'm going to talk to our staff about that too. If we talk to people who just have low insurance scores, talk to Scott Borschke.
Yeah, I'd love to help. Thanks, Troy.
Yeah, no doubt. All right.
So
Funny
Scott,
story time.
actually, 1 second, no worries.
Sure.
Before we get to the funny story, as that kind of turns in your brain a little bit, I'm curious to know what is in Scott Borschke's mind. What is this? There we go. I love the bobblehead. What is the, what is the state? Are we in a bubble? Are we coming out of a bubble? What is that's Troy and I, we love that question, but what is your opinion on this?
I love that question. I love that question. Of course, I don't have a crystal ball. I can't predict the future. No one can. But I do have some kind of insider, expertise just with talking to clients on a daily basis over all these years. The market's always changing and shifting. And I'm the one talking to buyers and finding out what they can afford for payments and how much homes currently cost at a certain point for starter homes. They were cheaper, 5-6 years ago than they are now, but the payments are more expensive today than they would be for the same houses 5 years ago. So in saying that, some people think they want to hold off on buying because things are going to crash. Well, in my strong opinion, even though homes are a lot more expensive than they used to be, that doesn't mean we're at like the top of the spectrum. We might just be in the middle somewhere. In saying that, for what it costs monthly to get into these starter homes, I talk to all types of couples at income levels, nothing crazy, and they're able to afford what it takes to get into these homes. Like Jake, the guy I was talking about, he's just paying just over $1,100 a month. That's a little cheaper than normal. You're gonna, many oftentimes, especially in some of the more expensive suburbs, you might have to go a little up from there, but people can afford $1,400-$1,500 a month these days, and just dual income with
And rent is
nothing
expensive
crazy.
too.
Yes, exactly. Rents went up so much, so people don't think about that. It's it'd be nice if prices were cheaper, but with where they are now, they're affordable. There's plenty of demand and plenty of people that can afford the monthly payments it takes for these prices. There's no reason that they need to drop because people can afford what it takes monthly, to pay what homes cost now. I don't necessarily think homes are going to keep shooting up, but in the field, knowledge that I hear from people what they can afford, it's pretty consistent. People aren't struggling to afford what the homes cost these days, and there's still plenty of demand. So some of my thoughts at all. And even if homes drop 5 or 10% for a moment or a year, is that really a bubble bursting? 2 years later, they're back up to where they were, So homes are affordable. I'd say, give it a go before rates go up or things get more expensive. So they're pretty low right now.
How low are rates compared to a year ago or, 5 years
yeah,
ago?
I mean, geez, rates are a full percent lower than they were a year ago. Right
That's another
around
reason
there,
to buy.
which is crazy. I mean, with a full percent lower, I mean, you're talking easily $100 a month at some of just the lower price point homes in difference. Whereas if rates go back up there, even if homes, this is some real math. If rates go up 1% and home prices drop 10%, you're paying about the same. So if you're waiting for that bubble to burst and homes to drop 10%,
rates are higher now.
Your payment's not going to be cheaper.
Exactly.
Unless the rates stay down and home prices drop and the perfect storm. So, I mean, really, you got one thing, the best it could possibly be with rates. And home prices they could go higher. They're not the lowest, but
in fact,
overall,
probably, I'm not a math guy like you, Scott, but it might be better going with that lower rate and higher value home in the long run than the lower value home with a higher rate as far as interest you'll pay over the life of the loan, right?
Right. I was just thinking that, and with the lower interest rate, not only does it help the payment, but your principal reduction goes down a lot faster. You might be paying $400 a month today towards principal every single month instead of $300 a month. If rates go up and prices go down, then I mean it's just a huge difference. So it's a good thing to bring up, Troy.
Guaranteed, man. Thank you. That makes me feel good.
Love it.
Angel, what do we got?
We've got to hear a funny story. What do you got for us, Scott? We always love to hear a funny story. It helps bring out the best of what our audience wants to see out of Scott. So no pressure. What do you got for us?
Sure, man. For stories, it's been a interesting 12 years in mortgage and in life since I started. So it's really hard to think back. I'm sure I could tell many, whether appropriate or not. But
inappropriate, please.
One of the more recent ones, I mentioned the bar league volleyball that I like to do. There's a little local dive bar of sorts that has just one volleyball court, and we're playing the playoffs just not too long ago. And there's a lot of netting around the courts to kind of keep the ball from going out too often. So, and it was we were shorthanded in the playoffs. With refs?
Where?
Sorry, what did you say, Troy?
Sorry to step on your story.
It's okay.
Biff's Sports Bar?
Not at Biff's. I mean, I've heard of it. Okay. They have volleyball too, and that's a little divey as well. But wasn't at Biff's. It was at In Cahoots actually over in Hamel, right by Plymouth, just off 55. So, basically we're in the playoffs. We're shorthanded. We had people were out of town on vacation. We had 4 against 6. We made it all the way to the championship game as the underdogs, kinda. And it's best of 3. You lost the first game, won the second game in a comeback. It's a third game, and I'm serving up 6-0. We got a lot of momentum. Ball goes out of bounds in an adjoining parking lot. So it's 10-something at night. I'm kind of got a lot of energy. We're kind of keeping the momentum going. I sprint out to get the ball. I try to sprint back into the court to serve right away, keep that momentum going. Well, with the netting and the darkness and the trees, I clothesline myself. Gosh, you guessed it. I clothesline myself and a little bit of blood, and you might be able to. I don't know if you can see it really, but there's still a little mark here that's healing. Basically, I iced myself in a word. So I'm bleeding a little. They made me take a 3-4 minute break.
You probably looked awesome. Blood.
Yeah, well, and from there, after the little break, momentum lost. We ended up going up from 6-0 to losing 15-8. So, I got bruised, a little more than just my face. My ego was a little bruised as well, but it was a lot of fun.
Dang.
Yeah, it was fun. So, good to laugh at yourself, Troy. Thank you for that.
That is funny. My kid got clotheslined on it in his Alaska trip, too. He ran into a rope right here and flipped and landed on the back of his head.
Oh, no.
Scary, but luckily kids are like Gumby, so he was okay.
Right.
He recovered.
Definitely know the clothesline experience intimately. That was good story, though, Scott, man. And
thank you.
Man, thank you so much for joining us today. You are a true consummate professional, and there's a lot more that we could talk about, and maybe we'll do that on a future show. But how can people reach you?
Yeah, people can reach me either through, I have a cell phone number. I'm always available 24/7. That's 763-227-6337. You can also reach out to me on Facebook. First name Scott, last name Borschke. It's B as in boy, ORSCHKE. Those are, some of the better ways. My email address is Scott.Borschke, again, BORSCHKE @supremelending.com. And I'm just available at all times. So those are probably the best ways to contact me. But you're going to get a response right away. And I'm always going to be here for you. That's one thing I can always promise, regardless of the situation.
That's what we love about you, man.
Love it.
Thank you, Troy.
Awesome. So this has been Angel Telemontes, Click Leads Local.
And Troy Thompson, Pinnacle Insurance, and
Scott Borschke with Supreme Lending.
Woo!
Thank you guys all so much for joining us.
Yes.
Thanks, guys.
It was awesome.
Thank you.
Yes, I love it.